So how's everyone liking those A-Live 2.0 updates? And today, guess what? GSC Game World left us with this message about the future of Stalker 2. Yes, it looks like we're getting a full-blown roadmap. 2025 is going to be very interesting. And the dev team also had some comments about what they're doing in terms of updating the day and night cycle. And some new updates are happening to previous Stalker games as well. Plus, the dev team responds to your burning questions out on Reddit as well. And despite the brand new update that just dropped yesterday, there still needs to be work that needs to be done. And even still, you might find yourself with a lot of downtime in the zone. Well, I found the perfect game for such times. It's called Castle Duels, which is a PvP card strategy game with tower defense mechanics. And it has over 30 unique units that you can summon and then merge to make them more powerful. It has real-time PvP battles, tactical strategy with deck building, and battle boost, and even an entire clan system with tournaments and events. And a huge thanks to them for sponsoring today's video. So join me and download Castle Duels by clicking on that link in the description below or scan the QR code on the screen. And one of my favorite things, by the way, about this game are the different unique unit types, which include everything from cute but deadly Sheba to powerful pirates and magical creatures. And each one of these units has their own unique abilities, and it's fun to mix and match units to come up with different strategies. And then also, I cannot forget about the battle boosts, which add a lot of variety to the battles. And with battle boost, you can unlock really powerful moves that will completely shift the tide of battle. Really cool stuff here. So download Castle Duels by clicking on that link in the description below or scan the QR code on the screen. I'll see you in Castle Duels. So let's go ahead and get into what GSC Game World had to say right here. And I say we zoom it in right here, guys, as Stalkers. Yesterday, a major patch 1.1 for Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl was released. All the time between the release and the Christmas holidays has been dedicated to improving your experience with our game. We hope that many of you will find the time to start, continue, or finish Stalker 2 during the holidays. And trust me, this is where it gets interesting. It says this right here: before the new year, we would like to share our plans for the year 2025. We will continue to update Stalker 2 in the upcoming year. We will be ready to share the content roadmap for the game at the beginning of 2025. That's going to be huge. And then also the next-gen patch for the console versions of Stalker Legends of the Zone trilogy will be released next year. We know you've asked us to update the PC versions of the original Stalker games, and we will also plan to do that. Keep an eye on our social media so you don't miss the exact dates. Ooh, I gotta say, I am extremely curious about this brand new content roadmap that we can expecting for Stalker 2. Now, we do know that, yes, we will be getting expansions, but beyond that, it's been pretty vague so far as to what to expect exactly. It'd be nice if we could get some free updates sprinkled throughout, so we'll be finding out together what exactly 2025 has in store for us when it comes to brand new content. But it's also cool that the previous Stalker games are not being neglected, and they are also going to be seeing some updates, so perhaps there's going to be reason to revisit those as well, so that's also noteworthy too. But you know what, that's not all the dev team had to say, because they did respond to this thread right here, which says, been testing A-Live fixes for an hour, I have good and bad news. And I say we start out with the good news and work our way to the bad news here. Check it out. It says, good news, it's much better. I have been running around the map for an hour, and I have 0 times when random enemies spawned near me and started attacking me how it was before the patch. Now, they really don't spawn behind you knowing your location. That is freaking awesome, by the way. And it says, I saw a fight in the distance between Stalker and mutants, and it felt more organic. NPCs are not despawning anymore. I saw a fight between bandits and Stalkers. They were fighting for some territory inside the building, and I decided to run away and come back. After I came back, Stalkers were still there. They have not disappeared. Yeah, so far it feels a lot more persistent, a lot more alive, and it's also changing up the gameplay for me as well in terms of needing to conserve more ammo, because sometimes you have to look at a situation and say, you know what, I have to walk away from this because it seems like there's more instances of battles and liveliness around the environment, which I absolutely love. You have to be a little bit more cautious with your decision making there. But by all means, sound off. How are you guys enjoying the A-Live system right now? And what further improvements would you like to see? Now, we do have the bad news. It says, draw distance for NPCs is still super close. Their 3D models can disappear from your view, but they actually not disappearing. Only their 3D model until you come close again, they will be there. And they still don't loot bodies. It goes on to say, so far I'm super impressed with the patch, and now I truly believe A-Life is there and they can make it even better. But what did GSC Game World have to say about this one? They go on to say this: hey, thanks for your comment about the bad news. We are continuing to work on the A-Life system and we'll bring more fixes for that. Also, we plan to bring some things from your list in upcoming patches. Thanks for playing and for your support. And it seems like they want to do further adjustments to the spawn distance of enemies and how that is working. In fact, there's further clarification here in one of the threads. It says, how far is the spawn distance now? We got a response from Anarchy Shark who says it's still noticeably short, but a community manager commented on another post that they're aware of their shortcomings of the current system and are still wrenching on it to get it where they want it to be, including spawn ranges and behaviors like looting corpses. An official response here from the GSC community manager, Kenny, who says, I can only confirm that, but again, no time frames I can share. So there's no ETA on when this would be fixed or addressed. And of course, these changes will be happening. It's just a matter of when. But let me tell you what, this team is working absolutely overtime. But again, I did tell you guys and warn you ahead of time that you would see them take a little bit of a break here because it is near the holidays. That is expected. It is a well-deserved break. So don't expect like a patch to be dropping on Christmas Day or something like that. That's not going to happen. These guys do need to take a breather, and then we should be seeing further updates here in 2025. But beyond the A-Life 2.0 system, it seems like there's some other problems that players are dealing with, and one of them is this right here. The day-night cycle has me rushing exploration way more than I'd like to. I know it's been said many times already, but is there any chance GSC will alter this? And guess what? We have replies from the dev team about this in a moment. But to dive further into this thread, he says this. Again, I know it's been said and I understand if people are annoyed by the post, but I'm unfortunately a console player who can't afford a PC good enough for this game, so no mods. Basically, I've noticed that I am much more averse to properly exploring the game's world because as soon as it gets dark, exploration and survival become much more difficult due to the nights being dark. And let me clarify that I really like the truly dark nights in this game. Romping around in the original trilogy during the pitch black of midnight was incredibly moody and atmospheric, but in Stalker 2, especially with Skiff's abhorrently weak flashlight, it puts me in an unnecessary loop. And I totally 100% agree with him. I absolutely love the nighttime in this game, but someone had a great idea again to do the moon phases where you have different like shades of nighttime where it's pitch black, where there's no moon out, and then where there's a full moon where you have a little bit more light and can see. I love that idea. And he goes on to say the following here: I go out to explore and complete some missions. The days in this game are beautiful, so I enjoy this immensely. Do you guys prefer nighttime or daytime in this game, by the way? Sound off. But he says this, but because night comes so quickly, I only get a couple briefly seen locations before I already have to plan a trip back to the nearest bed, which are few and far between. Which, by the way, again, like one of the things they could do to resolve that issue is to have the ability to set up camp. I don't know why they don't have that in the game. Perhaps it makes sense that they wouldn't because it's so dangerous out in the zone. You just can't camp anywhere. But even still, maybe your camp can be interrupted. That'd be a cool mechanic. That's been done in games before. So let me know if you guys would like to see the option at the very least to try to sleep out in the middle of nowhere with your own camp. But the TLDR, this post here, he goes on to say that it's very rough for him to explore at nighttime, primarily because of the experience with the flashlight, and it's just too dark, even compared to Stalker 1. And thankfully, someone did bring up the issue of the day-night cycle out on the Discord here, saying previously you replied to the day-night cycle feeling too short. Can you confirm extending it is still in discussion for future patches? And the response is yes, can't promise anything for the nearest updates. The changes to the length of the day and night would require some very complex tweaks in the game structure, so it is still in discussion state. And that makes sense because the day and night cycle in this game in particular, it's not just fluff, it isn't just for show, it is very much tied into the AI. And I imagine as they further fix A-Life 2.0, adjusting the day and night cycle at the same time could be seen as somewhat complicated. So what I think might happen, and I'm speculating here, is they would adjust A-Life 2.0 first and foremost, get the routines down, and then make adjustments to the day-night cycle. And yes, we do know that this game is getting a lot of love post-launch, but how much love is it getting exactly? How much of the team is currently working on the game? What is the number? Well, we get that answer eventually in this thread. Check it out. I want to kiss the entire GSC dev team on the lips. And we got a response here that says 100 devs in one day. But what's the official response? Here it is. It says there are 450 of us. and that is the number currently working on Stalker 2, between, of course, quality of life improvements, big patches, major updates, and I imagine a big chunk of those individuals are working on whatever DLCs and expansions they have in the pipeline right now. And I think it goes without saying that this game is definitely getting a lot of love, but it's nice to know that there's all hands on deck right now, even post-launch. All right, so yes, now it's time to go over your top comments. As always, love reading over your comments. Leave a comment down below, but let's check in and see what you guys had to say about my most recent Stalker 2 video. Let's do this. All right, we have this one. I went from 1.44 megabyte games on diskettes to 110 gigabyte patches downloaded in minutes. It's been one hell of a ride. Man, how times have changed. That is absolutely wild, I know. And it's pretty crazy. I never thought, like, we would have 110 gigabyte patches. And I think in one of the threads, they did clarify that on PC, they have to, like, reallocate the files. The patch itself isn't exactly like 110 gigabytes. On, I think it was Xbox, it ended up being only like 12 to 13 gigabytes. But for some reason on PC, they have to reallocate a lot of stuff and go through a lot of the files and just reinstall stuff. But it's pretty wild to see how big some of these updates are actually getting as we keep going with these games. And then we have this one right here, improve year over year. It's been 4 weeks. Their patch rate is incredible. I know, it's wild. And I said year over year because I think this team is going to be so devoted. This will be like a Cyberpunk thing where they just continue updating it, you know? Because even with Cyberpunk, recently they had a big update where they had like a whole customization thing for cars. And I just feel like this team is so devoted to their own franchise and they love it so much. I see them putting the same love and attention to detail like you see with Cyberpunk. So yeah, years of support. And we've got this one right here. I already love it. Literally binged the game until 3 a.m. last night. Saw the update, let it download, and played it when I woke up before work. Had more encounters with NPCs in 1 hour of gameplay than I did in the past 20 hours. Witnessed dogs, third-party Noontide, and Malachi in the Burnt Forest region. After hearing barking and seeing tracers fly by, I cried tears of joy. Yeah, seeing these different like firefights and situations play out. Sometimes I like to witness it. Also had one instance, I wish I could find the clip for you guys. I tried digging it up, but I can't find it. But anyway, it was where a bloodsucker came after me, but then I realized maybe I can go back to the camp where these guys are at and try to get them to fight for me, because I was a little bit low on ammo at the time, and it actually worked. And that's the sort of thing I love about this system right now, is how you can actually kind of manipulate it to work for you as well. Yeah, next time I better be more prepared before heading out, but I learned my lesson on that one. But anyway, it worked out. I survived, and that's the type of thing I love about this game. But anyway, thank you all so much for the comments. Greatly appreciate it. And thank you for the love and support on the videos. You guys have no idea how much it means to me. And I will keep you guys up to date and in the know about all things Stalker 2. And yes, I plan to keep covering, you better believe it, Warhammer 40K and Path of Exile 2 as well. But thank you guys, and I will see you all next time. Take care.